Future Market has thousands of board games at discounted prices. Click the direct link below to see all of those discounted games. Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going to be treating patients. We're going to be having dreams that we're going to be working with them with, trying to treat them, getting rid of their grief, and then fully treating them. Today we're taking a look at Unconscious Mind. This is a heavier, medium-heavy Euro game, and it is got Vincent Dutray and Andrew Bosley art. Wow. Let's take a look. I'll show you at a very high level how the game's played, and then I'll show you what I think. Now there's a lot going on in this game. I'm not going to show you everything. It's going to give you a very high level overview. One of the cool concepts of this game is you're trying to treat these clients and they start with a grief layer. And as you're able to treat them, and I get past these first 3 hearts here, this grief layer is going to come out. It's blocking some abilities, and this grief layer is going to come off. It's a sort of a transparency, and that is cool because this now is also going to give you 5 points. It's going to give you some upgrades on certain things, and it's now going to open up an ability for them, but you still need to treat them 2 more times in order to get the 8 points and have this patient completely treated. And that's one of the main concepts and things you try to do in the game. Each player has their own board. They have their own set of resources that they're going to be managing. And over the course of the game, it's basically worker placement for one of the main actions. Is you're going to take one of your available workers and put it out on the board. This is shown on the board for a 2-player game where some spaces are blocked, but you'll place your worker in a certain spot, like something like this. Now, if I do something like this, it's pointing at this one, so I would get that action. But I could place 2 of my workers here and do that action twice. This is essentially giving me one of each of the different level 1 resources if I did it once, for example. Now here you'll see I put 1 here in each of the level 1 resources of each of the color types. Now this game is heavily about resource management. So over the course of the game you're going to be upgrading resources, pushing it up to a level 2. Each color has a level 1, 2, and 3. If I upgrade this one up here, sometimes they'll say, hey, downgrade something to upgrade something, and you're doing things like that. Sometimes it will say things like, shift. So I can move this from here to over here, or from here to over here, things like that. And so you're going to be moving them around, and the big part of this game is figuring out the puzzle of how to downgrade and upgrade and get the right resources for the right things. Because again, one of the main things you're doing is trying to treat your clients, and like this one needs the best green resource, the second best purple, and a first best purple, and that's going to allow you to treat them 3 hearts essentially and get you 3 points, and that's that. This one's second level, first. So you can see the resources that you're going to need. When you treat clients, you can treat 1 card on both clients, so you treat this one and this one, and so at most I'd be able to turn in all these resources and start to treat the clients, again giving you points, sometimes extra actions, sometimes bonuses. So again, on my turn, instead of going or placing on a worker, I could spend this large green resource, the level 1 and level 2 of the purple. Now this one here, so I did pay those resources. I'm going to be able to move this 3. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, and because I crossed that threshold where that little heart was, I get to remove the grief layer, and again, that's going to get me some points, some resources, and it's going to unlock an ability of that patient. And later on, now this card's going to come off, and later on, if I'm able to now do these, I will complete this patient, and I'll get the points, and they're going to give me some tags, which is going to be used for sort of set collection for end game points sometimes different rewards and things like that. However, sometimes like this one needed 5 hearts at the beginning. Even if I get through both of these, I'm only going to get through 4. And there's sometimes where you'll need to treat them even more than what you can from your dream cards here. So sometimes you'll need to use these additional hearts to fully treat clients. Now, one of the main ways to get that is out on the map. There's different worker placement spots that allow you to move around the map. When you get to a spot, you could take actions. It'd be 1 action for every person that's there, or however many tags you have. Earlier we talked about tags when you treat clients. If I had many of these tags, I could do this action up to 5 times depending on how many tags I had, or like here, there's 2 people here, I could do it twice. Or if I had 2 tags, I could do it twice. So they're going to give you different actions, but a lot of them is spending a resource to get some of those hearts, and sometimes you'll need that extra resource to treat clients all the way through. Now, when you do finish treating a client, you'll get another one. One row of the clients get you basically like abilities, and the other row of clients essentially get you like end game goals, like having a certain amount of cards or having certain tags. So you're either going for end game goals or in game sort of abilities and such. So different types of clients you can get. You're also going to be getting some dream cards. One of them you'll get by itself, and just off the top, and the other one you'll actually get to draft, so you'll know how many hearts it needs, what resources you need to create what you need, what dreams that you'll need to help treat this client. Now, these two actions have to do with moving around the map. Some of them have to do with upgrading and things like I told you earlier. Some of them is going to be spending another resource called coffee to sometimes activate and or get some of these tiles. And when you get a tile, you're able to place it in open slots. And this is important because depending on which row that you went into, you're going to be able to move your bottle 1 to 4 times. And when you move your bottle, let's say I was just going to go once, I get to activate everything in this row. So I'm going to get a level 1 green resource. And then I can spend a level 1 green resource to get an idea. Ideas are things that allow you to do many different things in the game, but one is to be able to move this 1 more or 1 less than you're supposed to, lining it up for engine building of resources and such. Another thing you're trying to do is fill up your entire column. When you do, you're going to get some personal insights, and you're also going to be trying to do finish rows as well. As this thing comes around, if I've unlocked this, I'm going to be able to take this as an additional worker, and it's also going to allow me to do things in this column as well over the course of the game. Personal insights are important because over the course of the game, instead of worker placement or treating clients, you can rest or sleep. And when you do so, you can see how many tags of this type you have. How many purple tags do you have in clients that you've treated and things like that? Well, if you have 3 of them, you can put one of your personal insights here, assuming you've unlocked it. It's going to give you some benefits as well, but it's also going to give you a medal. You'll also get medals if you're the first person to sleep in any specific spot there. So medals are important because Freud's always going to be ahead of you. You're going to be moving up on the track, giving you points, and it's going to be good because at the end of the game, you're going to be getting points depending on how you are on the medals. It's also the end game clock once Freud gets to the end of that track. So getting medals is kind of an important part of the game as well. Now, there's other ways to get medals as well. There's these goals that everyone's competing for, and then like this has 3 blue clients that you finished, or 2 red, or any 5 clients, having books, having 2 columns done, and things like that. You also get a medal for completely filling in your entire board. Now, these books, this is another concept I want to show you, is over the course of the game, you're going to be getting these cards and through different effects. And I have a red and a green book. Here's a red and a green. I can, if I have a personal insight, put this here, and you would line these up, and you would have this book on here like this. And again, that's going to be getting you points, different tags here as well for end-game scoring. There is a ton more going on in this game. This is just a high-level overview. The game is going to end when Freud gets to the end, and then you'll do a handful of end-game scoring, set collection, your end-game scoring clients, and whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. First of all, it's got my first top 2 favorite artists in board game areas, Vincent Dutrait and Andrew Bosley, both on here. That's crazy. It's like a dream team. Geez, all they need to do is add EN02 on this project, right? Great art, it comes through great, it draws you into the theme. This is a very thematic Euro. Everything sort of makes sense. There's a lot of abstraction here. There's a lot of worker placement. There's resource management. But the theme is different, the theme is unique, and the theme sort of ties to things well. It makes it easier to teach the game. I love thematic Euros in that regard. The biggest thing here is sort of the puzzle of the resource management. That wheel thing is an interesting concept, and moving things up and down, and I need this, I need to downgrade this to get this up, I can upgrade this twice, and I have this, I can overpay for this, for that, I can slide this one over here with this action. The main crux of this, of how you're getting things done, is that resource puzzle. I tended to like that puzzle a lot. I like little puzzly aspects of games like this, and the fact that this was sort of, for me, the star of the show of this game was good, because I like that. There's a unique puzzle that I enjoyed. It does create some AP moments where you're like, oh my goodness, okay, how do I treat both patients this turn? Okay, well I can do this, 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 in this order. That will get me that. I can do this, get the grief layer off that, but then I'll still have this, this, and this over here. Oh, I've got this ability over here, allows me to shoot. Like, you are calculating a gazillion things in your head at once to manipulate that, which is interesting, and it feels good in the brain. It does cause some longer turns with some downtime. We'll get to that later. Treating the patients past the gray relief is really cool. The grief layer, really cool. Those little transparencies, you're getting past that. You're getting a benefit, sometimes points, sometimes abilities, sometimes this and that. Sometimes you're trying to match that grief layer with the dream. That'll give you some bonuses in the future. Really interesting to release that grief layer to give you some ongoing abilities that are crossed out. It's things that patient's going to give you as soon as that grief is gone. They're able to sort of live their life a little more normal and things like that. Thought that was really cool. I like that they're giving you abilities, or they're giving you end game scoring. That's cool. Different ones for different things. I like that you're racing towards medals, those goals, the different types of things, or 3 red patients, or 2 red patients, 3 green patients, 5 any patients. different of your private or your own insight markers out on the board on certain things like that. I like that you're racing towards goals. I like using the flexibility of the ideas, which is like moving, how much do you want to move that bottle to activate that engine building of all those different tiles of actions. And again, since those can be done, I like that you have flexibility into the order of doing things. That allows you to really amplify your turns and have some big turns. But again, on the downside, it can be AP prone and it can cause longer turns, creating more downtime for others. I like that you're moving on the map for rondel actions. You can move Freud, and you can either take the amount of actions as like the amount of people or the amount of tags that you have for that. Similar sort of Finca where you move, like this is like after you move and then you get as many actions as things are there. I like that. I like that you're building that engine of tiles on your board. That's interesting. Then you're trying to go clear out a column or clear out a row, and that's giving you some bonus actions. And as you come around next time, you can do all these actions down. Lots of stuff going on in this game that I like that. I like the flexibility of the order of operations. There's a lot to like here. There's a lot going on. It's a pretty heavy game, but it's not overbearing. On the negative side of things, the game is icon heavy, for sure, but there are really good player aids in the game, so it's going to be it's a tough teach, but it's not as hard as some that are this heavy. And the theme helps bring it through, and the player aids help a lot. Analysis paralysis is going to be a huge problem in this game for some people. If you have it, don't play this, really, because you're going to be sitting there for a long time trying to figure out this puzzle. And it is fun, but other people are not going to want to be sitting there for twice as much time while you think of on your, this is analysis paralysis prone. If you've got someone in your group that has it or you have it, this is going to trigger that for sure. Just be known. Now, the upside of that is, part of that is because of the flexibility of the order of operations on a lot of things. It gives you the flexibility to do this and then do that and do this and do that, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And sometimes you have these big turns, but the downside is AP and downtime for sure. That's why I like this game better with less players. Random dream card. So you get that random dream card, and then you get to draft the other one. Sometimes, even getting that random dream card, you're going to be caused to get those extra green hearts needed in order to fully treat somebody. This is a part of the game that I did not love. The fact that you could draw that dream card, and then none of the other cards you could take would allow you to sort of fully treat that patient without having to get that extra green heart to use, which are not that easy to come by. There's ways to get them, mostly on the map. Yeah, you can do all this great stuff with resource management, but you still have to go to the map and then turn in this resource to get that, and then use that to get that. To me, I felt like that could have been a little bit more streamlined. I think that they could have possibly come up with a way where that was developed out. I think it was just one more mechanism too many in this game. There's a lot going on in this game, but it's relatively streamlined for what it is. I think that was a spot that I would have, in a development, would have somehow figured out a way to chop that out of the game. I think it just added more things that didn't need to be there, quite honestly. And then due to longer turns, and it's best for me at lower player counts. So lots of positives, some negatives here. But I think from this you should know if you're going to like it. For me, heavier games, the longer the setup, the longer the play time, the longer the downtime, the more I need to like a game to really have it hit home. Like last year, Nucleum came out. Very heavy game, 4.2 on Board Game Geek weight, lots of setup, but that game stood out so much that's like, yes, I enjoy this. I will bring this out. I will keep this in my library. This one, I will play this with 2 and 3 happily. 3 if they know the game, 2 here. Now, so I think you should know hopefully from my review, this game is for you. Lots to think about, lots of positives, few negatives that might be game killers for some people, but overall, interesting, unique game, and that is Unconscious Mind. Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, and their 4.5 Kickstarter introduced the new Galactic Mycroft and Watson Game Toppers with interchangeable rail inlays, as well as new game mats, miniature gaming terrain packs, leg kit options, dining covers, accessories, and amazing package deals. The campaign recently ended, but it's not too late to pledge late at GameToppersLLC.com.